All right, everybody, this is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I'm giving everybody a second to get in here. There's a lot going on tonight. It's kind of a breaking news night here. We've got quite a bit of protesting going on out in Hollywood, which we're going to discuss here in just a minute. Of course, the moment I go live, one or two of these feeds go down. That happens every time. Anyway, I've got a bunch of feeds up. There is 6 live feeds. One of them is going up and down. I got 6 live feeds. A lot of people are broadcasting in upright format, so I was able to split the screen up a little more to give you a little more coverage. This, to my knowledge, this is all happening in Hollywood, California, and this is supposedly live. Now, I will admit that in some things I see different things, so I'm not sure if they're all live, but they are all purported to be live. The sunlight is about right for now. It's about 9 o'clock here. It's 6 o'clock there. About another hour of direct sunlight, and then they're going to start their sunset cycle there. So that's about that. These all look about right. So we're going to keep that going. I'm not sure about this one here with the green symbol on it. I'm going to see what I can find to fit in that spot. Well, let's see. I've got a... yeah, we're going to talk about all this in just a minute. There is a lot going on. And there's my take on it, which I'm going to give you, and then I want to hear what your take is as well. Because here's the thing. These kind of things happen a lot, where so-and-so's taken off the air, and then the rumors fly. There's already been rumors all over the place today that Trump forced him off the air. Can't be further from the truth. The FCC's taken no action. That would be the only power that Trump has over ABC, would be that. I will discuss the 3 reasons why Kimmel was taken off the air. It's not a single reason. It's actually 3 different reasons why he was taken off the air today. And I'm going to discuss them with you because I think it's important that you guys understand all the different... A lot of times people hear one thing and that's what they run with. Oh, Trump had him kicked off the air. No, not so much. That's not what I'm seeing, okay? The FCC has taken no action. If there's behind-the-scenes pressure through a phone call or something, we would never know that. Oh, it figures. Here goes all the live streams. Here we go. All right, I'm looking for more live streams. Anytime there's a bunch of live streams like this, people go live, and I'll tell you, you know what the biggest thing is that people don't realize? When you go live, your phone eats battery. And a lot of people that aren't, everyday streamers, if you're near a cell tower, it goes okay. But then remember, you're using your screen at full brightness because it's daytime and you're trying to read the chat room. And your camera's having to broadcast to a tower that's 3 or 4 miles away. And what ends up happening is the phone will go dead. And a lot of people bring a small battery that they can plug in, and then you can run into overheat problems. So there's a lot of reasons why people come and go off air. I'm going to see if I can find some things to plug these holes real quick here. I'm surprised to see left-wing YouTube channels tonight with the title, "It's Time to Get a New Party." Wow. That's powerful stuff. I have to admit, it's there's been some of the ugliest things I've ever seen been said lately about Kirk's death. Whether you like him or not, I mean, whether you hate him or not, I can't believe people would actually be happy about someone being dead. I mean, I guess, we all say, oh, that Putin guy, if he ended up dead one day. But yeah, but we do, I don't know. I never say stuff like that. But I hear people that do, but I really don't think they're thinking when they say it. They're just saying it. I think very few of us actually would celebrate in the assassination of somebody. And I would hope that's the case anyway. Boy, my numbers are going up and down wildly. Hey, Bill, what's up? I'm hoping that my announcement went out. I have not used any of them today. So there should have been an announcement that went out with this broadcast for sure. So all the views you're seeing are all of the protesting that's going on right now. I believe, I don't know. I guess we're in front of ABC or something. I'm not sure. Boy, there's a lot of people on YouTube talking about it. A lot of talk going on, which I do like. I like that. And I'm sure it's on both sides. And that's fine too. Oh, here we go. This might be good. This might be a dupe. I'm not sure, but I'm going to stick it in here anyway. Nope, maybe not. Maybe that's a good one. All right, I think we're back to good ones all the way across. Oh, God, it's a crazy purple hair lady in a Prius. This ought to be good. She's going to start yelling in a minute and shaking her cane at the moon. All right, anyway, man, we're back. I don't know what's going on with my numbers tonight. They're going like 10, 23, 5, 23. It's like, I think, I don't know if YouTube's having a bit of an issue or what. I'm hoping you guys are able to get in. I'm showing my stream going out 5 by 5. Stream health is currently healthy. Streaming health is excellent. So I don't know what's causing that, but we'll keep going here. That's all we can do. All right, and guys, you know, I'm all for it. I'm all for his free speech. I'm all for the protesting. But I think it's good to keep everything we see in context, okay? And we understand that it's deeper than just Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air by some mysterious force. Let's talk about this. Number one, hey Red, I think the number one thing I have to stay right up front. The First Amendment protects you from the government. It protects you from prosecution. It protects you from being evicted from public property for speaking. It protects you from prosecution. Bottom line, the First Amendment does not protect you from your employer firing you because of things you said on the air. I want to make that perfectly clear. I keep hearing, Jimmy Kimmel should fight this. It's free speech. No, it's not free speech. Not with your boss. Unless you work for the government, then it gets to be a little bit of a sticky wicket. Because technically, when you're a government worker on duty with the government, you are governed by policy, which actually restricts your free speech. So it's kind of an interesting thing. No one has truly free speech because you're never free of the consequences. And so I think it's important to note that when we're talking about this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing over the next 20 minutes here, that you guys understand first and foremost, the First Amendment does not apply to ABC. It does not apply to all the different companies out there, the broadcast companies that pulled his show first. And they have to worry about things like people not watching their show anymore, or their channel, because of what was said. And they also have to worry about decency with the FCC because it is a broadcast channel. And although I do not believe in decency standards, because decency standards should be done by the corporations, not by the government. We do best when we don't over-regulate things. And so that's kind of where we are with that. Oh, God, it's Dr. Gallbladder again. Is this going to go on all night? There was one night a while back, this doctor would pop up on every frickin' window there for a little while. It was getting ridiculous. I'll reset that window. Nope, it's gone on to something else, so that's no good anymore. Let me get rid of that one. God, I hate that. I wish people would learn how to keep a broadcast up for more than about 20 minutes. But anyway, let's talk for just a minute about, okay, so why was Jimmy Kimmel fired? First of all, he was not fired. He was suspended. He is currently suspended. His show is currently off the air and suspended. They're replacing it by some celebrity family feud or some shit for the next few weeks till they figure out what they're going to do. I think he's off the air for good, at least in that spot on network television. Remember, he can return anytime he wants on cable or on the internet, and he can say whatever he wants. But when you're on broadcast TV, you're going through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of independent and also owner-operator affiliate stations. And those stations, they have rules and regulations on them by the FCC, and they have rules and regulations adopted by their owners and their what they call stakeholders. And so, how they perform in front of the public is very important to their investors and stakeholders. So what happens is these companies will begin to see, hey, what he said was no good, and maybe we should consider just not running his show for a while. And that's where we're at. Two major broadcast conglomerates. I'm sorry, I forgot both their names, but one of them has 35 ABC stations, the other 25, and that second one is the largest broadcast company in the United States. And they have 200 or 300 stations. These two large broadcast companies pulled his show from every one of their ABC stations to, quote, protect their license and to protect the decency standards on their broadcast channel. And that's important to them, and I understand why. So the number one reason that Jimmy Kimmel was pulled, the number one reason, okay, is not necessarily what he said, but how he said it and the decency standard that is applied to it by the local station wanting to pull his stuff. Number two, the second reason was the whole night show thing is failing. The other guy, they've already given him his termination date. I forget his name. I don't watch any of these shows, so but one of the other guys has already got his termination date. These far left leaning night shows used to not be this way. Johnny Carson used to run the Tonight Show on one channel, and then we had guys on the other channels. These guys didn't get into politics. Johnny Carson always said, "I'm a comic. I'm making you laugh before you go to bed. I'm not going to dive into heavy topics unless I have to." And that was important, and I think it is important if you're watching a Tonight Show late night with so and so. You don't necessarily want to come in with hard politics. And what's happened over the years is it has transitioned from a comic show into a statement show that's actually out there fighting for the cause every night. And every spoof, every joke, every script, every guest is designed to toe the line, whatever that line is, politically. And that's why these night shows are now being canceled. This is the second one, not the first one. Okay? I'm sorry I don't have all these names, but the point is this is the second show that's been canceled. And the whole idea here is, and here's the deal, okay? The genre of 11 to 1 o'clock shows on network television that are heavily political now are not working. Jimmy Kimmel got in there, and his ratings have been, they're a third of what they were when he took over that show. Which brings us to the third reason he was canceled. They were already looking for a reason to cancel him. Okay? Disney wanted him off the tit already because he's making big money under contract. He's not even pulling in enough money to cover his own ass at this point. His advertisers are falling off. The local stations don't want to put him on no more. And Disney wanted rid of him, okay, because the show type and time is failing. He himself has fallen way off from where the show was when he took it over, okay? And all the changes he have made has alienated over half of his audience. Come to find out, a lot of the people that were watching that time slot 20 years ago were conservatives, were on the right. And over the years, they've all pruned off slowly over the last 20 years. People that used to watch Johnny Carson and even Jay Leno before, he blows his face off the next time. Everybody watched even Jay Leno didn't get into the politics. What was the other guy that had the show forever, the other night show? I can't remember his name. But anyway, the point is what ends up happening is everybody picks a thing. Oh, Trump used the FCC to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. And that spread across like wildfire. There's no truth to that at all. Truth is, A, Disney wanted rid of him anyway because that particular kind of show is not doing well. B, his ratings have dropped significantly since he took over the show. Okay? And number 3, the local stations didn't want to put him on no more because of all the crap he'd been saying, as well as the low ratings, the low book. So that's just a fact. And then finally, today, we've got not the cause, but the catalyst. We've got the thing that actually made it happened. And that was him talking smack about Charlie Kirk. He actually came on and said, I listened to the clip earlier, he actually, and I'm not going to play it on here, he actually came on and said that the MAGA folks spent all weekend trying to make it look like it's not one of their own guys that did this. That's one of the things he said. And it's like, by that point, we had already known that this guy had a grudge because his partner's transsexual, he's gay, he etched the bullets, he etched the gun with all kinds of anti-transphobic things and all that kind of stuff. And so we learned early on that the guy's agenda was in fact that he was a far left-winger and he wanted to kill somebody who was quite effective at changing the tide in the schools. In the universities, colleges, and trade schools and high schools around the country. Jay Leno was the last good night show host, in my opinion. Yes, I agree, Junior. Yep, and hello, Junior. Hello, James. You dislike this poo? Okay. Okay. We talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm starting tonight with this because this is the big protest that's going on right now. But we are going to get into space weather, terrestrial weather. We got storm chasers out tonight, just 1 or 2. Got some pretty strong weather in the southwest, and I'm going to be talking about 2 or 3 other topics too down the road. So we do a lot of different topics. I don't linger. Yes. Yeah, every time a new night show person would come on, the ratings would drop, and they would never get those numbers back. And that's why you just... yeah, that's fine, Coco. If it gets too bad, you guys know what to do. I don't care if you guys put funny quips in, but if someone starts just hard trolling me, my guys will take care of it, so... Letterman, yes, Letterman was the other one I couldn't think of. David Letterman. He was pretty funny. I think Carson was the best of the 3. And Ed McMahon, yes, you are correct, sir. I used to like that show. I mean, I used to watch it at night and when I was like in high school, and I kind of missed the way it used to be. It was a fun show. Go back and watch, like, I don't know, go watch Johnny Carson show and put in some of his famous interviews, and you'll find that he's just a great interviewer. He's a funny guy, and he's just a great, he was funny. And the nightly shows have gone spiraling down ever since. And of course now they've already gotten two of them now shut down. I think the final one will probably not last but another year. And it's because they were hijacked and being used for political purposes, and that's what wrote the epitaph. I don't think it's that people have changed all that much. I think it's just that people don't want slanted, hardcore, sleight of hand politics before they go to bed, wrapped up like it's some kind of humor. So there you go. Yeah, there's a lot. The number of commercials per hour doesn't change too much. There may be an extra minute or two on those later shows. I do believe there is. You're correct there. But also, what you may not realize is the timing of the commercials may be different too. Certain shows, stack the commercials differently. We do this at the radio station. Some shows do most shows do 4 segments an hour, but some shows do 3. And there was a show that a couple times during their show, they would do 5 breaks an hour, which I always thought was a little weird, but it makes the breaks pretty short. You can have a bunch of 2.5 or 3 minute breaks instead of a bunch of 4-minute breaks. So it all depends on how it's laid out. Leno's headlines. I used to also love the thing that Johnny Carson used to do where he'd put the envelope up to his head and he'd read the answer, and then he would open the envelope and read the question, and it was always hilarious. That does look like David Bowie. I wonder if he's singing at this thing, maybe. There you go. All right. And trolls, thank you. You're helping me with the algorithms tonight. Hit the thumbs down too, because that actually helps my algorithms too. Don't forget that, please. It's important. And make sure you unsubscribe on the way out. Yeah, I don't really care. Here's the thing. You get credit for a thumbs up, you get about as much credit for a thumbs down. And when people hate watch and talk a bunch of shit in your chat room, that really helps your algorithms. So I thank the trolls. And then if they get too nasty, we just delete their comment out. It's no big deal. Let's see. I like to do the free speech thing, but I'm not the government and I'm not bound by the First Amendment, but I do still try to provide a free speech chat room. But I'm not going to sit there and be called names. I had the guy the other night come in and just kept repeatedly telling me that my studio looked old and antiquated. I'm like, really? There's not a single CRT screen in here, yet it's old and antiquated. It's just trolls. And I like trolls in a way because they help my algorithms, but then they get to be too much and you just have to get rid of them. No, Junior, you're right. It sucks that people come in and encourage people to give a thumbs down. That's bullshit. I agree with you. But I'm just saying, I watched some videos over the last week, and they were actually saying that when they give you a thumbs down, you get credit for that too because it's a reaction. They're not judging whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. They're judging that it's a reaction. And people think they hurt you with a thumbs down, but they don't because it's a reaction to your video. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, don't worry about all the trolls. I don't. All right, whatever. All right, guys. So I'm looking here to see. I'm looking real quick to see if anybody else has come online. We've still got 3 or 4 shots of what's going on. Plus, we got David Bowie getting ready for the show. All right, I'm looking real quick to see if there's any additional live views that have come up. It's amazing when you look at all the different headlines and all the spoof channels that are up right now, just simulcasting everything that's going on. I don't really care about Kimmel, to be honest with you. And I don't care. If people want to fire people over speech, you can do that. If the First Amendment doesn't apply. All right, so let's do a quick reset here. I'm trying to find something to fill that last screen. Hello, everybody. My name is Ian. This is Starship Adventures. We are live tonight in Southwest Florida at Starship Studios, which is actually in my backyard in its own standalone structure. And yeah, we'll do earthquakes here in just a minute. Let's see here. I've got a lot going on in the studio here. I bought a weed eater, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that. I bought a weed eater, and it says the battery lasts for 30 minutes. I get 7 minutes of weed eating out of it. 7. So I'm a little upset. It's a Ryobi. I've had good luck with Ryobi. I've got a big generator of theirs that's gone through 2 hurricanes now, or 2 or 3 hurricanes now. I think 3. It's been through 3. I bought it after Ian, and it ran for 6 days after Ian, and then a total of about 18 more days with the next 2 storms, running my entire home and my broadcast studio. It's an 8500 or something. Billy, I don't know where the hurricanes are. I really don't. Yeah, I never liked Kimmel. Yeah, we're dealing with a weird hurricane season. Same thing happened last year. I want to remind you guys, the same thing happened 2 years ago, kinda, and last year, for sure. What happens the first half of the season is dead. If you remember, a couple years ago, or was it last year, Gray and all those out there in Colorado, why the people in Colorado care about hurricanes, I don't know. But anyway, they all came out and said we were going to have this crazy, crazy, crazy season, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. They reduced their numbers 4 different times, and they still came in high at the end of the season because there's just bigger things at work here that we don't understand. I figured looking at La Nina in a transition, looking at the, looking at some different dynamics with the Bermuda High and things like that, I was under the impression, climatologically looking at this season, I thought it was going to be a pretty good one, but it's turned out not to be much at all. Now, the Pacific's busy, and that's, I think, because we're in that La Nina, El Nino transition, but things are good. Things are good, and it's good if you live down here because you're not dodging a storm. I got to tell you, when the storms start coming down here, they get pretty bad. All right, let's get back to the grid. I am going to try to find something to fill that hole with here real quick. I've already got all these up. You know, I honestly, had Jimmy Kimmel never said a word about Charlie Kirk, had he not said the distasteful things, which, by the way, they were not nearly as bad as some of the other distasteful things. I mean, they were just distasteful. Distasteful. They were not horrifically disgusting like some other people. I actually thought Jimmy Kimmel's comments were somewhat light compared to some of the other ones, but like I said, they wanted rid of him anyway. They were looking to end this whole night show thing is going to go away. Remember, broadcast television has changed a lot over the years. And what used to work on broadcast television doesn't work anymore. You know, when my parents were young, we had 3 channels. When I was young, we had 5 or 6. And then finally I remember when we got the first cable box, it had 32 channels. And only 17 of them were worth a shit. We picked up Turner Network Television. We picked up a few weird ones. We did get WTOG out of Tampa, which was the one that had Star Trek. That's the only one I cared about. But yeah, back then we didn't have a lot of TV, and so at night when you were getting ready to go to bed, if you wanted to watch TV before you went to bed, you watched one of the two night shows. Once Fox came around, Fox started putting different things in that time slot to run up against the night shows. But the bottom line is there was only 4 or 5 things, 10 things to choose from, and a lot of people chose these shows. Now, even with the population boom and everything else, there's still only a fraction of the people that used to watch these shows actually watching them now. A very small percentage. Where like before, Johnny Carson might get a 10 share or a 20 share, meaning that 20% of the TVs in the country have him on. Right now, the Jimmy Kimmel show was getting like a 0.13 share. I mean, it was like literally like pennies compared to $100 bills. You know, it was like, wow. The decline in the ratings over the last 30 years has just been a steady fall off. Yet he's still making millions of dollars a year. I gave you 4 good reasons why he's gone. I'll give you a 5th one. He's too expensive. He was charging millions and millions and millions of dollars. He's not that funny. And everything he does is so politically charged and politically biased that he's run off so much of the audience. He'll never get them back. And so there you go. There's a bunch of reasons. Yeah, VCR tapes. The very first thing I taped on VCR, you're going to laugh. The very first thing I taped, my buddy's mom bought him a VCR for Christmas. And I can remember going there one night at 9 o'clock. I went there that day and I spoke to his mom directly. She loved me. My best friend and I, our moms were friends, and it worked out really well. Anyway, the point is I brought blank tapes. I bought blank tapes. They were in unadjusted dollars. They were about $6 or $10 a piece, and I bought 3 blank tapes, a 3-pack for like $30. And I walked in and I said, "Look, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan is coming on tonight, and it's the first time it's ever been shown on broadcast television, and I want to record it." And she goes, "Sure, what do we got to do?" And they actually, I believe, stayed and watched the movie and enjoyed it. Now, they had not seen it. But I sat there and paused at the commercial. And I sat there with my finger ready. And the moment they'd come back, "And now back to our Sunday night movie," and I'd hit the button. I had almost a perfect copy of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, copied off of NBC or whatever it was, network television at the time. Yep. I really loved the VCRs because I never had a wall of tapes. Now, we had quite a collection up at the cabin because that was how we were watching movies up there 30, 25 years ago. There was no cable. There still really is no cable. I do have fiber optic up there, but still no cable vision, which is fine. I'm sure that at this point it'll never actually show up because we're already past the days of cable vision. Yes, they are. They are protesting. I would estimate the crowd size, and believe it or not, I actually took a class and one of the things we did in that class, it was a command class. We had to estimate crowd size. There's about 150 people involved with this protest. It's not that big, and it has dwindled some in the last hour. As a matter of fact, I think it's dwindled quite a bit in the last hour. You can see there. You can see there when they pan by. There's only like 50 or 100 people there now. That's cool. I love people's right to protest. If they like that show, get out there and protest. I'm all for it. I don't think it's going to change anything because they've been looking for this opportunity for a while and they finally got it. Oh, and everybody knows the protesting's all about the food. All right. This whole new thing that's going on now with paid protesting, I really don't understand the whole thing with paid protesting. Um, if you got to pay people to protest, then what are you doing? I mean, is it worth it if you got to pay people to protest? I don't understand how that even counts or works. They print out signs for you. They drive you to the location. They drop you off, and they pay you $100 a day to be a professional protester. All right, here's this one again. This might have been from a little while ago. I'm not sure. All right. Super fans, yeah. Yeah, the labels. Yeah, I know. I most of mine were just written in marker what it was. Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4. I used to record in SLP cuz I was cheap. And then I realized later, man, if you recorded it in the much faster mode, uh it actually records 3 times as much data and it's a lot clearer. But still, at the time, I could get 3 or 4 movies on one tape. And it was not as much about the definition because we were watching it on a 640 resolution television. So it really didn't matter. And it was more about the fact that the tapes were just so damn expensive. But yes, all this is going on. You can see some of them are leaving, I think. They're walking down, you can see the Hollywood stars there. Man, I am so tired tonight. I got to go back to Venice first thing in the morning. So anyway, let me tell you guys about this. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this and see what you guys think. Um, I'm a little pissed at the Ryobi, man. I was kind of I've been a Ryobi fan. I like cheap equipment that works. You know, if you can buy cheap equipment and it works, that's great. Now, I've had good luck with Ryobi, and it is more inexpensive equipment, but not much more inexpensive than Black and Decker or any of the other ones. So I bought this thing, right? It's a weed trimmer, right? And it comes with a 2 amp hour battery and a charger. That's all it says. 2 amp hour battery and a charger. So I spun this box around. Oh, and hey, look, here's the chart on how long the battery lasts. You can see right there. And it says this comes with a 2 amp hour battery, which gives you 39 minutes of runtime. 39 minutes of runtime. Now I've charged it up completely to where it goes off, the lights go off because it's fully charged. Take it outside. It's good for about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Now, I don't know if I got one with a bad battery or what. So I went back by Home Depot today. And I figured, well, this is a small battery. I looked them up. Maybe I'll buy a bigger battery. Maybe a rapid charger, because this is not a rapid charger. It's a standard charger. It takes 8 or 10 hours to charge the battery up fully. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll get a faster charger and a bigger battery, and in between the two, I should be able to get my yard done. Um, my God, they're $100. I was shocked. The big 6 amp hour or 6,000 milliamps, however you want to say it, those were $100. I was like, whoa. And he goes, here, this one for 120 comes with the rapid charger. I'm like, this was only $80. This was $80. Two of these little thin batteries is $80. So I bought this, and literally half of this is the battery. That's how they screw you. That's how they get you. They get you to buy the equipment, and now I'm stuck with the equipment. I'm trying to use it in my yard, and the 39-minute battery gives me 7 minutes of life. And yes, I am going to file a complaint with Ryobi. The profits in the batteries, I agree, Red. They get you on the bats for sure, yes. I will tell you, I've looked on Amazon, and I can get Chinese equivalent batteries for about 40 bucks, 45, 50 bucks. They'll work pretty good. I'm probably going to buy one of those for right now. They also have the Ryobi ones on there for quite a bit cheaper than Home Depot. So I'm going to do one or the other. I have had good luck with the Chinese batteries. They do seem to do pretty much what they're supposed to do. So are they... There is a little bit of a conversion there. I've got like a 100 amp hour battery, but if you do the weight on it, it can really only be about a 70 amp hour battery. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. I don't thoroughly trust the numbers, but I will admit I've gotten good use out of those. One little Chinese battery about this big ran a camera and an internet connection for 5 days and 5 nights. Yeah, Christmas season's coming. By Christmas, my grass won't be growing anymore, though. But I get it for next year, I guess. Yeah, I wanted one because I have bad luck with gas-powered equipment. I got 3 generators, and I keep them all running. But when it comes to the smaller things, I have a real hard time with the smaller things keeping them going. So I don't do it. I'm going to do this from now on. Well, Red, I bought one about a year ago. A little over a year ago. We bought 3 different sizes of Chinese batteries. One was $40, one was $60, and one was $100 for the various sizes. And all 3 of them performed as well as we thought they would or better. So I'm just saying, just because it's, any battery you buy today is coming from China anyway. It's just if you buy it through a name brand company, there's a little more checks and balances to make sure that it's made right. Ethanol, you know what, Red? Somebody told me that today. At Home Depot. One of the old guys I was talking to up there. I told him, I said, I've had 3 gas-powered weed eaters, and they last for 1 season, and then they die, and I'm sick of it. I want something I can hang up, and next year pull it back down, charge the battery, and go again. Yeah, you can do okay, Coco. You can do okay with Chinese batteries because, like I said, most of the American batteries are Chinese batteries. They just, once they get here, they put Ryobi or whatever on them. But almost all batteries now are made overseas. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous with the rigs, Dominic? And they do stuff like that. That's one thing that they were doing with cell phones for years. Every new phone that came out had a bastard plug. And I can remember nobody ever had a charger for your phone. And you had to bring your one charger with you. And a new charger is $35 for another one. Because the charger only fits your kind of phone. Motorola had a charger. About every 3 years they'd change it. They all, LG had a certain one, and finally, all of a sudden, they went to the USB standard, and ever since then, it's been getting better. USB-C is wonderful. I think it's the best standard yet. Yeah, Harbor Freight's pretty good. They're just pretty expensive compared to Amazon. If you can get it at Amazon, it's usually the cheapest place. All right. Um, let's see if anybody else has come up. I don't really feel bad about Jimmy Kimmel. He was pushing he's been pushing a political agenda on a comedy show. I don't. The whole thing kind of makes me unsettled to begin with. Um, yeah, that's cool. I can imagine if you owned a bunch of equipment and you could buy a bank charger with a bunch of big batteries. I mean, if you had the money to do that, this probably wouldn't be a bad system. Besides, this is the smallest one they make. You're not obviously going to buy a much better piece of equipment also to put the battery in if you're going to do it for a living. Um, yeah, we'll go. Let's go look at the earthquake. We'll check that out real quick. I am going to be signing off in about 30 minutes or so. It's been holy shit. Yeah, we got a 7.8 off of Kamchatka. Let's go ahead and let me get that up for you guys. Hold on. Look at this. That's right back in that same spot again, isn't it? Look at that, guys. Do we have any tsunami warnings? Let me have AI double check. Um, oh man, that's a big one. That's right where that other one was too. A 7.8 is a significant quake that can produce a tsunami. When did this happen? Happened at 1858 Zulu. Like that happened like mid-afternoon, early afternoon. Yep, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck off of the east coast of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. Local authorities in Kamchatka issued a tsunami warning. The U.S. Geological Survey listed the quake as a magnitude 7.8, but U.S. tsunami warning centers did not issue a warning for the U.S. mainland based on the event. Some coastal areas of Alaska, particularly the western Aleutian Islands, were briefly put under a tsunami warning. Time-sensitive wave activity and changes to sea levels were monitored in the area. The bottom line, no. The U.S. tsunami warning system that is done by NOAA confirms there is no tsunami warnings, advisories, or watches or threats currently in the United States or any of the United States coastal regions. Some alerts or advisories are local to Russian territories, and there was a threat in the Aleutian Islands, but that has since passed. And that's it. That's what there is. So, yeah, big earthquake. Apparently, they're relatively sure, and we would have known by now if it had produced an earthquake. But man, or I'm sorry, a tsunami. But there you go. That was a big one. Look how big that circle is compared to all the other ones. We did have a 6.1 over here. Indonesia. In the Indonesia, we had a 6.1. Couple over here, 4.7 in Chile. Off the coast of Central America there, we had a 4.6. And we had a couple of threes over in near the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean. and a few through the center of our country. There's a 3 in New Mexico and a 2.6 in Nevada. So, I mean, not too unusual except for this one here. That's a big story. That was a big one. And again, that one had the potential for producing a tsunami, but I don't think it actually did because we haven't heard anything about that yet. All these feeds are starting to go down now. I knew that would happen. That's the nature of. Well, I turned that one off, but I'm not sure if they're done or not. Let me go ahead and turn this one off. I'll hold that other one for a minute. They might have just sat the camera down, is what it looks like. All right. Okay, so let's put that back on radar. Let me double check and see. Nope, we have nothing going on radar. We got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, both of them in California, Riverside, California. I gotta see this. There we go. That's where our severe weather is right now, guys, believe it or not. Pretty strong storms moving north. They're moving north into the Chuckwalla National Monument area. Slab City. And we've already got power outages being reported and a flash flood warning. I can't do the power because the county has a flash flood warning and it doesn't do multiple layers. And there's a lot going on there. All right, so we'll leave this up for right now. All right, so there's that. And last night we were looking at 2 different areas in the tropics that we were watching. They have dropped the first one. The conditions got to the point where they didn't really give it much of a chance of growing or anything, and they finally just removed it off the graphic altogether. Here's what it looks like now. This is all disturbances the next 7 days. This is a 7-day graphical tropical outlook. Basically, what they see now is there's something coming off the coast that they think could develop into something, and so that's what we're kind of watching right now. Gabriella's out ahead. It right now does not pose a threat to anybody but Bermuda. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, Gabriella's going to go like this. It's going to be gone. Or it might go the other side of Bermuda, but either way, it's out. This one is just coming off the coast today. And they're saying that in about 3 days, it will be in an area that will be conducive to form a tropical storm. But note, they're showing it kind of going north already. If it's already this far north here, it's not a threat for Florida, and it's not going to probably be a threat for the U.S. This could be yet another alley-oop. It's going to follow Gabrielle. It's going to go like this. This one's going to form, and it'll do the same thing. It'll go up and out. And if that happens, then there we go. There's another 15 days without a tropical storm. And like I said, we are now 3 or 4 or 5 days past peak. We're past peak. And we're just not seeing anything out here. So basically, what we're looking at right now is... this is the Gabrielle, or Gabrielle, because there's no A at the end. And there we go. There's your latest information as of the 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time advisory number 7. I'm not going to read the coordinates. You can see that maximum sustained winds 50 miles an hour, movement west-northwest at 13 miles an hour. And this motion is expected to continue for the next 3 days. And then it's finally will start making, as it turns into a hurricane, just shy of Bermuda, it's going to turn right. One significant thing tonight, Bermuda has emerged outside the forecast cone. That's Bermuda right there. I'm not drawing titties. That's Bermuda. So you can see there, Bermuda is no longer in the cone. So good news for Bermuda. Probably still going to get some wave action, maybe a little tidal rise, but yep. Slab City's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, they've been having big earthquakes up there on that Russian peninsula. All right, there's not a whole lot to show you here. I can show you what the storm looks like right now. This is Gabrielle, kind of trying to get her act together. But really, there's a little bit of outflow starting to show up. It's starting to breathe a little bit. But I still, you don't see a whole lot of the tropical characteristics, but it is starting to get them. You can see on the north side there's some outflow. So yeah, it's starting. Oh, and we just on the radar, I'm going to go back to the radar here in just a second. That county is actually losing more and more electricity now. I wish I could somehow, I wonder how you click on something that's behind something else. It's back there. I just don't know how to see it. There it is. Imperial County. 2,240 people without electricity. About 8.4% of the county is currently without electricity. This is, I'll zoom out so you can see where this is. This is right down near the bottom of the country there. Mexicali. And it's east of San Diego. So starting to get quite a few power outages reported in that area. All right, so that's it. That's the tropics. There's not a lot going on. Space weather-wise, let's see what we got. I did write a few articles today. Let's see. We pull those up here so we can talk about them. We'll talk about them. And we'll just sit and wait. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is there's a massive skyscraper-sized asteroid called 2025 FA22. That's Fox Alpha 22. Is going to pass Earth at about 24,000 miles an hour. That's pretty fast. A massive asteroid nearly the size of a New York skyscraper is set to make a close flyby of Earth in the early morning hours of September 18th. I guess it's already gone by. Racing past our planet at over 24,000 miles per hour, officially designated 2025 FA22. The object was first detected in March by survey telescopes in Hawaii and quickly added to the ESA's risk table for potentially hazard asteroids. After precise follow-up observations, scientists have now ruled out any impact threat, and the asteroid has since been removed from the risk watch list and now has passed by Earth safely. But anyway, this was a pretty big one, and had this one struck Earth, this kind of thing would flatten a major metropolitan area, devastate the surrounding regions. It would be the equivalent of about hundreds and hundreds of megatons of TNT on impact. trigger firestorms, dust plumes, potentially tsunamis if it strikes in the ocean. But we don't have to worry about any of that. So that's pretty cool. While such impacts are exceedingly rare, planetary defense agencies monitor these bodies closely due to their potential for mass destruction. It's not going to be visible to the naked eye during its close approach. However, with the aid of a strong telescope or a high-quality binoculars, astronomers may still be able to catch a glimpse of it. There you go. It's a rare visitor with a return ticket. And it made it through, so it'll be coming back. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about this one. All right, so the next thing I want to tell you guys about, solar activity. It's reversed course. A new study confirms the sun is powering back up again. A new peer-reviewed study published September 8th in the Astrophysical Journal confirms what many space weather watchers have suspected now for a little while. The sun has reversed a decades-long weakening trend, and solar activity is beginning to ramp up once again. This means solar cycle 25 may only be the beginning of a long-term period of stronger solar cycles, with more sunspots, more geomagnetic storms, and greater impacts on satellites, power grids, and communication systems. Between the early 1990s and 2008, solar wind conditions steadily declined. Measurements showed decreases in solar wind speed, density, magnetic field strength, and overall energy output. Solar cycle 24, which is 2008 through 2019, became the weakest solar cycle since the dawn of the space age, fueling speculation that the sun might be entering some kind of new grand minimum, like the Maunder minimum or in the 1600s, or the Dalton minimum of the early 1800s. But the new study shows that since 2008, that downward trend has reversed. Data from spacecraft monitoring the solar wind at Earth's orbit, or 1 astronomical unit, reveals steady increases across nearly every parameter of solar wind plasma and the interplanetary magnetic field, or the IMF. Speed plus 6%, density plus 26%, temperature plus 29%, thermal pressure plus 45%, mass flux plus 27%, momentum flux, dynamic pressure plus 34%, energy flux plus 40%, interplanetary magnetic field magnitude plus 31%, and the radio component of IMF is plus 33%. Guys, every single metric is up drastically. This next solar cycle is going to be big, I think. This is a substantial shift, signaling that the weakness of solar cycle 24 was an outlier and not the beginning of a permanent minimum phase. All right, so there you go. And of course, this becomes more important the more satellites we get into space, because the number one thing that's affected by these solar storms is our satellite. I want to bring your attention to, I wrote my Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, whatever you want to call it, review. And I wasn't all that kind. I'll be honest, I'm not happy with Season 3. It was mediocre at best. Yeah, we're here every night except Saturday, and on Saturday if there's breaking news. I'm not much on Season 3. Season 1 was really strong. Season 2, pretty strong. Season 3, somewhat weak. I don't like the trend. I really would like to see a strong fourth season. There's only 16 episodes left. They're doing 10 episodes in Season 4, and they're doing 6 episodes in Season 5. And they've announced that's all of it they're making, and it will end. So there's nothing like knowing you're going to die 2 years before it happens. But they've already announced that the series is dead. It's over, but they did renew it for 2 additional seasons. So we are going to get season 4, 10 episodes, and season 5, they're going to bother to get together to do 6 episodes. Guys, we used to have 24 episodes a year on television. This is 18 months to do 10 episodes. 18 months to do 10 episodes? What the F? I mean, it's just stupid. Okay, thanks, Fenry. I appreciate it. Have a good night out there. Game over, man. Game over. Won't you put her in charge? Anyway, I don't like the writing. The acting is good. Props are good. The ship is beautiful inside and out. Special effects are amazing. The phaser fights are awesome. I do love the cast. I love the uniforms. I love everything. It's a great show. The writing is shit. It's been shit for a while now. We had a shit episode in season 1. We had several, including the worst episode yet in season 2, Subspace Rhapsody. Garbage. Should be stricken from canon. And then we've got Strange Probe makes the crew sing and dance like idiots. That was my review on that one. And now we've got season 3, an entire season of retreads and rip-offs. Yeah. Very disappointed, guys. I love this show. I love this show, and I see it just coming down around. It just really sucks now. What a mess. Oh, David Bowie's back. Talking about something about a white wedding. Anyway, yeah, we're here all the time. We're here every night. We do all kinds of news. We're really light. We try not to do any politics or stay close to away from it as we can. But we try to do a lot of science and space weather, terrestrial weather, storm chasers, breaking news, pursuits, manhunts, anything going on like that. And then we also talk about science fiction on TV and movies and things like that. Coco, I agree to an extent. I personally prefer time travel episodes almost over anything else. But I'm sick of the grand reset. I'm sick of making an episode where everybody dies and then it resets at the end. Make another episode where everybody catches a disease and dies. Oh, we're going to reset that one too. That's my problem with time travel episodes, is they tend to write out all the consequences. And they end up retconning too. And I don't know. I agree with you, they're problematic. But they're some of my favorite episodes. You know, I don't know. Some of my favorite episodes are, you know, the Man Out of Time type episode, or there's been some great time travel movies. Don't forget the trilogy, Back to the Future. Oh my God. And I'm going to tell you another movie that you might have forgotten from a long time ago called The Final Countdown. It's about an aircraft carrier. And it was well made and well produced with the cooperation of the Navy. And it's about an aircraft carrier that goes back in time. And it goes back in time to the week before Pearl Harbor. And it sees the planes and the ships coming. And I'm going to leave the rest to you. It's really a good movie. It's a freaking good movie. It's called The Final Countdown. Martin Sheen, I think, is in it. There's a bunch of stars. Slap ass full of stars. Martin Sheen, yeah. Great movie. Yeah, that was a great movie. Oh, okay, the X-Files movie. X-Files was okay. I don't like shows that never wrap anything up, and that was my big complaint with X-Files. I did watch it. I do like Scully and Mulder. I do like the characters. I kind of like the format, but I will tell you, I don't like the fact that you never really get any answers on that show. And so, just when you think you're going to find out something, you don't find out anything. It's kind of like dealing with the FBI in real life. So I do believe there's a little bit of time travel fatigue. To me, I've got more fatigue over the retread fatigue. That's what I've got. Why did we have to have all these freaking retreads? They did Enemy Mine again. I actually, on my review, I reminded them of all the other times that science fiction did that same exact plot. Two ships crash on a planet, right? One ship, it's got the one guy from the one side, and one ship's got the guy from the other side, and they're both stranded on the planet, and they've got to work together to survive, right? Have we heard that story before? Yeah, of course. TOS, Arena. Remember, he's stuck down on the planet with the Gorn, the whole thing? How about TNG, Darmok? Remember, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. Damon and Picard at Eladril. You guys remember that? Why do I remember stuff like this? That was Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 2. How about TNG, The Enemy? Remember Galundan Core? With Geordie's trapped down on Galundan Core with the Romulan? Season 3, Episode 7. How about Voyager, Juggernaut? Season 5, Episode 21. Enterprise, Dawn. Season 2, Episode 13. How about the movie 1985, Enemy Mine? Which is that's kind of the thing that started the whole thing. It had Lou Gossett in it. And it was a good movie. Stargate SG-1 did it. You know what they called it? Enemy Mine. Season 7, Episode 7. Stargate Atlantis, The Defiant One. Season 1, Episode 12. Babylon 5, The Long Twilight Struggle. Season 2, Episode 20. How about Doctor Who? Dalek. 2005, Season 1, Episode 6. Battlestar Galactica, Someone to Watch Over Me. That's the new Battlestar, Season 4, Episode 17. And The Outer Limits, 1995, episode called Trial by Fire. We've done it! Been done! Been done so much, I'm done with it. Done. It's lazy ass writing. It's lazy ass writing. Yeah, it's David Bowie. It's lazy ass writing. They had Trelane back in an episode. He doesn't show up till later. Somehow he's now, nobody from now remembers him later. The Gorn are now, the Gorn were supposed to be discovered later, but now we don't know that. And now the Metrons have shown. I'm telling you guys something. This episode, this season, I hate to say this because it's mean, this season's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. Is it worth watching? Yes. If you're a diehard Star Trek fan, you have to watch everything once to be a completist. But you're only going to like about half of them. And I'm telling you, there's a few episodes here that are real stinkers. In this season, episode 1 is hegemony, whatever. That particular episode right there was pretty good. It kind of ties up what happened at the end of the last season, which, had to happen. But it didn't really conclude anything. And it was okay. It was a decent episode of Star Trek. 6 out of 10. Season 3, Episode 2, Wedding Bells. It's a retread. It's an absolute retread of an old episode. And then the end is the exact same as in the original series episode. A complete and total retread. This one gets 1 out of 5 stars. It is a horrible episode. This one gets 1 out of 10 for me. Horrible episode. You could skip this one. The third one, Shuttle to Confori. Zombies in Space, a retread. How many times have we done zombies? The Walking Dead, Star Trek style. Whatever. It's a 7 out of 10. It's a decent Star Trek episode. It's got the captain in it, which I really like, and it's also got Dr. Mbinga, which I have really liked that character in this show. He's a great character in this show. And I love the actor that plays him, and I love the part he's got, and he plays it to the best. The next one, Space Adventure Hour. This one premiered on July 31st. It's episode 4 of season 3, and this episode is truly garbage. It's shit. I got to tell you guys, it's just garbage. What ended up happening is it's a show about a holodeck, which they haven't invented yet, technically, according to canon. But they put a holodeck on the ship anyway, and she gets stuck. Leanne, who stars in every episode. I don't know if you've noticed that. She's the only actor in the show that stars in every single episode. She always has a part. I think her dad must be running the thing or something. I don't know. But this Space Adventure Hour is garbage. They actually have a Gene Roddenberry character, and he's an eccentric drunk. Talk about disrespectful. Space Adventure Hour, garbage. Skip. Through the Lens of Time, this is a pretty good episode. I would say a 7 out of 10. This one's worth watching. Space Adventure Hour is 1 out of 10. And I would give 0, but you got to give at least 1. That's the rule. Through Lens of Time, serviceable, predictable. Another new character. They introduce us to another new character, and here we go. The very next episode, he gets his eyes gouged out and he's dead. Okay, there we go. Nice, awesome. But Through the Lens of Time, 7 out of 10, definitely worth watching. The Solid Who Ate Its Own Tail. Okay, this one here, it's got a lot of good Star Trek in it. There's a lot of good Star Trek in it. But at one point, the maul of the ship opens up and eats the Enterprise or some shit. It was, oh, come on. Yeah. It was okay. This one's definitely worth watching. It's the first time Captain Kirk takes the center seat on the Farragut, and you get to see that. And he's got what will eventually be his crew there with him. And so it works out good. I really like the woman that plays Uhura, and I really like the woman that plays Nurse Chapel. I think they both are great at their parts. I love number 1. She's way underutilized in the show. There's just a lot of great actors in this show, and they're being handed scripts that are written by a bunch of children in a writer's room. It's really garbage. Episode 7, this is MASH, the interview, all over again. Basically, you're watching an episode of Star Trek through a reporter's camera, basically. Yeah, it's a 4 out of 10. It's worth watching. It's a bit confusing and contrived. It's all right. Season 3, episode 8, 4.5 Vulcans. Garbage episode. Absolute garbage. This is the one they teased all season. This is the one they showed early on what it was going to look like, because 4 of the characters become Vulcans. And it just turned out to be a shitty episode. Bad writing, wasn't thought out well, really was just not much on it. I give that one 2 out of 10 stars. And then you've got Terrarium. This is one of the best outings of the season, even though it is the Enemy Mine episode that I was just bitching about. Even though it's copied from all those other Enemy Mine episodes, it's still one of the best episodes of the season. That tells you right there we're kind of screwed. Anyway. And then finally, season 10, episode 10. I didn't like it. I didn't. The crew member with his eyes gouged out comes back. People sticking shit in their eyes. The whole episode is contrived. That this crew member and this crew member, because of something that happened 40 years ago, are related to this big thing that's happening. And, oh, for Christ's sake. Who wrote this shit? They don't write Star Trek this way. 5 out of 10. It's worth watching. But disappointing that this is the season finale. Anyway, there you go. The sad part is the actors are fantastic. The sets, the effects, amazing. The ship looks beautiful. But the writing is killing the show. It's garbage. Start writing some shit. All right, I'm done with that. Everybody quits chatting when I talk about Star Trek, so I probably should start limiting that down a little bit more. But yeah, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3. If you want to read my full review, episode by episode, plus I write a synopsis of my thoughts on the whole season, it's on my community posts on both of our channels, Starship After Dark and Starship Adventures, and it's on our Discord under Science Fiction. All right, guys, what else is going on? What would you like me to discuss? We're coming to the part of the show where I open up the phone lines to see what you guys want to discuss with us tonight. I don't actually have phone lines, but you know what I mean. The splitting of the channels seems to be doing well. My numbers are up again tonight. We've had almost 200 views here. We're still not back to 1,000 like we were, but we'll get there. I happen to think that I'm starting to favor the algorithms again. And just in the last 3 nights, we've come up and we've almost doubled our aggregate viewers in 3 nights since I made the big change. So I tend to think that it's working. We'll have to see for sure, but I tend to think it's having some impact. If you guys please hit that bell on the Starship Adventures, and make sure you turn the bell off on Starship After Dark, because that one's going to go off all the time every time I have to reset one of these computers. But Starship Adventures, this channel here, will only be live hosted shows with yours truly. All right, I'm the only one working in the studio now, and we've had people move and things happen here. So all the other people that were working here with me have had opportunities in other towns, and they're no longer living here right now. They'll mostly be back probably, but not right now. Freaky goings on in Slab City. Yeah, well, Slab City's getting their ass handed to them right now. They just had a pretty heavy storm move through, and yeah, we're also seeing. I gotta hit that, and then hit this, and then hit this, and I can see it. We've got 2,600 people now without electricity here in the county that has Slab City in it right there. Man, it's a little place, isn't it? That's Slab City. That's a little place. See, I would picture like Slab City. We had a fire department here that was not good at putting out fires, and we used to call them the blank slab coolers. That's literally what we call them. The name of their town, slab coolers, because they would show up and cool down your slab once your house had burned completely down. And that's why when I saw Slab City, I'm like, oh man, that fire department must really suck there. He probably does. Who knows? No, I don't know of anything new on Atlas. I'm reading all the stuff online, and it's just crazy stuff, guys. Be careful what you read online. I'm not saying it's all gobbledygook. I'm just saying be careful what you read online. I've already seen all kinds of stuff on there, and really, we don't have proof of anything other than this thing's interstellar, and it has not moved its course. It's on the course that they originally expected it to stay on. That's really all I know. But I'm always looking. If you guys see something, put it on Discord. I do check Discord 3 or 4 times a day. I react to stuff on there. I also post stuff on there. And there's a section in here, guys, that's called breaking news only. I ask that you only put in there breaking news. I've got that set to set my phone off. It's not working perfectly, but it's getting there. But that one will set my phone off. The others don't. But I go into this and check also. As soon as I get home and I start this set to show up, the first thing I do is go to Discord and see what you guys have put in there. Oh boy, I'm yawning. All right, guys, we're coming up on 90 minutes here, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off tonight. I'm sorry that I'm going to have to cut you off from David Bowie, but I think he's done with the burritos he was eating now, and I got suckered on this battery thing. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a decision in the morning. I think I'm going to order a knockoff battery for it, a bigger knockoff battery and a knockoff charger. I can get that for about $60 on Amazon. And that plus what I have will hopefully get me through, because I'll be able to charge both batteries at the same time. And then I can get up in the morning and both will be charged. And then I can go out and work. My lawnmower's broke. And I don't want to buy another one. I'm literally, we're at the end of summer. I don't want to buy a lawnmower that's going to sit out for 6 months. I do keep it covered, but still sit out for 6 months before I even really need it. So I'm trying to get through. I bought some Roundup too for back on my antennas and stuff, and around the trailer on the side. We got a tower trailer over on the other side over there that belongs to a friend, and I'm going to spray all around that too. But I've got to do something with this yard. It's just getting a little bit out of control, and it sucks. No, I don't think I'm going to take it back and get my money back. I've already used the shit out of it, so I've probably used it a little more than I should have used it if I was going to take it back. Number two, I only paid $80 for it, and I'll be able to get a better battery. And then I also believe that my Ryobi drill takes the smaller batteries, unfortunately. But anyway, that gives me, I think if I do buy this other battery, next time I buy a battery drill or next time I buy anything, I'll buy the one that takes that same set of batteries, and I'll start collecting things. They got some neat things that take these batteries. There's a box they got. You plug the battery in, it's got a plug on it. You can plug stuff in like a household plug. It's got USB ports, and it runs off of the big drill battery. They've also, any piece of equipment that's sold there, whether it be skill saws, drills, whatever, all that kind of stuff, as well as all of the lawn tools, the blowers, the edgers, the weed trimmers, everything all takes those standard 18-volt batteries now. So if I do end up with 2 or 3 of these batteries, I just got to make sure I keep buying the one. And that again is how they get you, because you get in with them on their batteries, and now you have to buy everything that's theirs. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, I think. All right, guys. Yeah, Coco, we'll see what happens. They generally don't mess with past presidents. Yeah. Yep, I agree. Yeah, with small motors and micro motors, it's usually the carburetor. That's usually where the problem lies. You're right. All right, guys. Yep, there you go. All right, guys. We're coming up right now on 90 minutes of broadcasting. It's now 10:24 on the East Coast, 7:24 on the left coast. And there we go. We are getting ready to sign out. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. And I got to tell you that we do this show. If you're not normally in here, we do this show 6 nights a week, and sometimes on Saturday if there's stuff going on. But for sure, 6 nights a week we do this show. We do it from right here. I do product reviews and stuff for you guys. We talk ham radio, propagation, science, space weather, terrestrial weather, science fiction. It's kind of a wide range, and we do steer clear of the politics if we can. So I hope to see everybody on the next adventure. I am going to Venice tomorrow. The trip up is going to be at like 7:30 in the morning, so I'm not going to do it then. But on the trip back, I am probably going to go ahead and do a live drive tomorrow afternoon. It'll be around 12:45, somewhere 12:30, 12:45 Eastern tomorrow. I'll be doing a live drive, and it'll be for a little over an hour. And I'll take a different route this time, and we'll come back there. Good night, everybody. Good night, Red, Coco, Junior. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you hanging in there till the end. And we'll do this again tomorrow night. So you guys have a good night out there. We'll see you later. Live from Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on Starship Adventures. We'll see you guys down the log or on the next adventure. Be safe out there in 7 threes. Have a good night.